First question you may ask when you look at this thing is why? First of all, why is it upside down? Why do you have 7 strings? And admittedly, for the longest time, I would have thought the same thing. The reason why it's upside down is because I'm backwards and I play left-handed. And it has a 7 string because it just does, and it helps out. So this is going to be like a quick introduction to just kind of some basic theory behind the guitar and why you want a 7th string and the advantages and disadvantages. So first I'm going to go over the basic parts of this thing. So this is a string through guitar, which basically means that the strings come through the back right here and come out the outside right here. This piece is called your bridge, and then inside of that is the saddles, which actually hold the string. These 2 bad boys are called your pickups, which is your pickup selector. It changes between which pickup you want to use. This tone knob, this is volume knob. And so right here, this part of the guitar is called the neck. This is the headstock. These are the tuning pegs. That's also the tune pegs. Okay. And now the most important thing really that I'm going to be talking about that you need to remember is called frets. And the fret is the space in between these wires. So these are called fret wires, and in between the wires you have frets. That's what you use to play the notes. Okay. So what's important to know about the notes, and I'm actually going to have to draw something real quick to help it make a little bit more sense. Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, these notes right here are your open notes. So if I take my hand completely off the guitar and just, that's your open notes. And so those are just, it's really important to remember that. And so there's something very interesting about this 7th string. The only thing on this 7th string that I can't play on the 6th string are these 5 notes right here. Messed it up. But you get the idea, because what happens is when I get to this 5th fret right here, it starts repeating itself. So the only notes that I have that you can't play on the 6th string are just those notes right there. So now, so we know now that notes are repeating, and sometimes you end up with the same exact note. But what you can also end up in something called octaves and just repeating notes. Notes that aren't necessarily the same, but they can repeat themselves. And a good example of this is this little top thing right here. So, the interesting thing about that is what I just played was literally the same notes. I just played it on different parts of the guitar. So, with that in mind, let's go into the advantages. So my personal favorite advantage of playing a 7th string is you can be lazy. And that is the best thing ever. And here's an example of that. So here is just a riff, real quick chord progression. So you get the basic idea then. So now keep in mind the repeating notes. I'm going to play it the first time around the way that I just played it, and I'm going to play it a second way with just the notes repeating. Same exact thing, just played a different way, but it's so much easier, for me at least. And it also changes the sound of the riff to just be able to do instead of having to. See, it's it's a whole lot more movement, and say if you're playing live or something like that, that second way of playing it is so much more reliable, because if you're walking around or you're moving around, you're not gonna be as focused on just playing. All right. So another advantage, I have to change the tuning of it real quick. Tuner wants to cooperate. So there's something called drop A chord, and you can do drop tunings with basically any guitar. You don't have to have a 7-string to do it. But what makes it unique on a 7-string is the size of chords you can play. For example, I can play a chord like this. Something like that. And that's using all 7 strings. You can't get a sound like that on a 6-string. It's just so much fuller and so massive of a sound. And you can also go with open tunings, which is just an open strum, and that becomes a chord. And that just sounds beautiful on a 7-string. Another advantage of it isn't necessarily an advantage, it's just sort of something interesting about them, is you don't see these very often. You don't see many 7-strings. You see even fewer 8 and 9 strings. And you especially don't see ones that are left-handed like this, which does lead into a disadvantage. So let's go into the disadvantage. One of the disadvantages is if I ever want to sell this thing, it's not gonna happen. You can't sell guitars like this, especially when they're left-handed, and expect to make at least a decent comeback from it. Another problem that you can run into is wrist pains and the wrist that's doing all the fretting and stuff, because this is a tree trunk of a neck. It's heavy, and it can cause some pretty serious wear on the wrist. And there's also a learning curve. If you've played 6 strings for years and then try to pick up a 7-string, it's still going to be different. Still going to take some getting used to, and there's still that curve. So, in conclusion, if you do play guitar, you've contemplated getting a 7-string, I highly recommend it. They're a lot of fun. And you know, it's very easy to think that you're just going to get a 7-string and do like real heavy metal type stuff, but it's not necessarily the case. Like I said, there's classical 7-string players. There's Rob Scallon out there, who's a beautiful guitar player, but isn't very heavy. And then also, if you ever wanted to just get into guitar, do it. It's great. It's so much fun. I can't recommend it enough. But thank you. That's all.